Hi, my name is Callista, and I'm from Seattle. Please like and subscribe. I don't remember my dad because soon after I was born, my parents got divorced. Mom got full custody of me since I was only a baby. She moved to Seattle for a fresh start and started working at a big law firm. But I never knew what happened to my dad. Growing up, Mom worked really hard to look after me and never really had any time for herself. And since she had no other family, I made sure I loved her enough for everyone. Surprise! Happy birthday, Mom! Oh, sweetie, you're the best daughter in the world. I love you so much. Once when I was 8, Mom took me to a picnic at a nearby park. As I was playing hide and seek with her, a girl came and sat right next to me. Hey, what are you doing? Go away. There's only room for one person to hide here.
Yeah, that's why you leave, because this is my spot.
Saying that, she elbowed me and I fell to the ground flat on my butt. Ugh! I grabbed her hair and she screamed. Minutes later, the adults came running. But instead of separating us, Mom freaked out seeing the man. You! What are you doing here? Oh, Amber, it's been so long. Where have you been? I tried to reach you, but oh my God. Is this Callista? He suddenly lifted me up in his arms. Oh, honey, this is your stepsister, Lisa. And I'm your dad. My what? No, you're not. Get away from my daughter. Mom snatched me from his arms and took me back home.
Mom, what's happening? That man was my dad? Why are we running away from Dad?
Don't call him your dad. He's a terrible father and he was a terrible husband. Just forget about him, okay? She looked super mad and shut herself up in her room. The next day when I was coming back from school, Dad was waiting for me with Lisa. He had gifts and balloons in his hand. Oh, Callista, here you go. Listen, I'm sorry I didn't come to see you before. Why? Why didn't you come to see me before? Sweetheart, I can't tell you. It was just awful. But I'm here now. Please, give me a chance to make it up to you. He seemed so sweet, and I couldn't help thinking that it would be nice to have a dad like the other kids. Just then, Lisa stepped forward and apologized to me.
I'm sorry, Callie. I shouldn't have hit you the other day. Dad told me you're my elder sister. Do you want to be friends?
I shook her hand and we both smiled. Later, Dad took both of us for some ice cream and we all had a blast. But when he dropped me back home and I went inside, Mom went bonkers on me. Oh my God, do you have any idea how worried I was, Callie? I went to pick you up at school, but you weren't there. And now you're coming home with that jerk? And what's all this?
I'm sorry, Mom, but Dad came to pick me up at school and he got me all this.
Suddenly, she snatched everything from my hand and shoved it into the fireplace.
Mom, no!
He's trying to buy your love with all these gifts. He's not a good person, Callie, and he doesn't care about you.
Why do you say that, Mom? What did he do?
I can't tell you. It was awful. Just trust me, okay? He and his family are evil.
But Mom, Lisa is...
You think she's any good? No. Lisa and her mom are horrible people, just like him. And now he's back thinking he can just take you away from me? Mom burst into tears and fell to the ground. I went ahead and hugged her tight.
I'm sorry, Mom. I had no idea they were so bad and that you'd be so hurt. Please, don't cry. No one's taking me. I love you the most.
That night, I snuggled into Mom's bed and slept with her, and she looked happy. But I couldn't stop thinking, what weren't my parents telling me? The next day, I was sitting in my classroom working on my project when Lisa came running to me.
Hey, sis, Dad asked me to give you these cupcakes and we can hang out at lunch.
Go away, Lisa,
and take your stupid stuff with you. I don't want anything to do with you ever again.
I got up from my seat in anger, and somehow my chair hit Lisa, and she fell to the ground with all the cupcakes all over her. Everyone gasped, and Lisa looked so embarrassed.
You're so mean, Callista. I'm gonna kill you.
She leapt forward and pushed my project model to the ground, smashing it to bits. I grabbed her hair and we broke into a wild fight. The teachers came running and pulled us apart, and then our parents were called in. Dad was the first one to arrive, and he instantly hugged Lisa. What happened, sweetie? Are you okay? Mom was right. He didn't even look at me. He didn't care about me. And then Lisa told him I pushed her on purpose. That lying witch. Callista, how can you hit your own
She's not my sister, and you're not my dad. Do you understand me? Just stay away from me.
I ran out of there in angry tears, and after that, even though Dad tried to talk to me, I completely refused to. But he still sent me gifts on Christmas and my birthdays that I always hid from Mom. For some reason, I just couldn't throw them away. Time went by, but Lisa was still there at school with me. And no matter how much I tried to avoid her, she'd somehow managed to always be in my face. In the 8th grade, we both joined the dance club. But when it was time to select the lead dancer for an upcoming event, the teachers chose me. And Lisa looked super pissed. A day before the competition, I was in the changing room when someone locked the door from outside and turned off the lights. What in the world? I tried to make my way around in the dark, but then I tripped over something and landed on the floor. Minutes later, Lisa and her nasty friends opened the door and they were all laughing at me.
Seems like you won't be able to dance now, loser.
You witch. I'll make you pay for this. Oh, ouch! I sprained my ankle pretty bad, and just like that, Lisa grabbed the role of the lead dancer. But I wasn't gonna let her get away with it. While Lisa was performing on stage, I cut the cable wires and the music stopped, and so did Lisa. Her performance was spoiled, and I'd even paid some kids to throw rotten tomatoes and eggs at her. Seeing her screaming and running off the stage was awesome. A few weeks later, our school had organized an adventure camping trip that I immediately signed up for. And I was so annoyed to see Lisa had too. But the worst was when the teacher announced the teammates' names. And mine was frickin' Lisa. We both ran to the teacher and begged her to change that. But she just wouldn't. It's either this or you go back home because nobody else wants to switch. Ugh, this was a nightmare. When we went to our tent, I dropped my luggage on the right bed. But Lisa picked it up and threw it on the left. What are you doing? If a wild animal comes in at night, the left bed is closer to the door, so he'll eat you first while I run away. Huh? Why should I get eaten? You get eaten. Saying that, I picked up my luggage and put it back, and she kicked me. I kicked her right back, and we got into a fight. And just like that, our tent broke down. The teacher glared at us and made us sleep under the sky. The next day, we had to perform a few tasks as a team. The first one was rope climbing, but as I was climbing, Lisa pulled me down by my foot and I fell to the ground. She giggled and started going up, but I grabbed a handful of mud and threw it at her face. She lost balance and fell right next to me. Of course, we were disqualified. With nothing to do, I decided to take a nap while Lisa sat by the lake. But all of a sudden, I woke up to screams. I went running and saw Lisa was in the lake, struggling to swim, and everyone else was just watching. As I ran forward, someone tried to stop me. There may be alligators in that lake. Wait for the teachers. I just pushed her aside and jumped into the water, pulling Lisa out. The teachers came running and took us to the nurse, but thankfully, Lisa was completely unhurt, just really shaken. Later that night, Lisa came to the tent and just hugged me.
Thank you, Callista.
If it weren't for you, I don't think I'd be here. Nobody tried to help me, not even my friends. But you did. I couldn't let you torture the alligators in the water. And then we both burst out laughing. By the time we were back from the trip, Lisa and I had become good friends. Dad was there to pick her up after the trip, and Lisa told him everything. And then he walked towards me. Oh, Callista, how can I ever thank you? You saved your little sister. Do you think you could give me another chance too? Are you still not gonna tell me why you never got in touch? Mom won't tell me. Then I can't either, sweetheart. But we can still get to know each other? Ugh, what was the big secret? I'm not sure, but maybe. I'll try. The next week, Lisa and I spent time together in school, almost like besties. She even brought me cookies that her mom made especially for me, and I loved them. A few days later, she invited me for Christmas dinner at her place. At first, I was hesitant, but since Mom always worked extra shifts on Christmas, and I mostly spent them alone, I decided to go. When I reached there, everything looked so amazing. Dad and Lisa were putting the decorations on the Christmas tree, and they looked so happy. I went in, and Lisa's mom opened the door, and to my surprise, she was very warm and welcoming to me. Come in, darling. We've been waiting for you. Merry Christmas, Mrs. Oh, just call me Mom. Aunt, whatever you feel comfortable with. Dad came running to me and hugged me too. I'm so glad you came, Callie. You have no idea how long I've waited for us to get together as a family. I was really touched by their lovely welcome, and when it was time for gifts, I saw they'd gotten me the best presents ever. Later, when we sat down for dinner and everyone was laughing and talking, I couldn't help thinking that this is what a perfect family felt like, something I'd always craved for deep in my heart. But just then, the door flew open and Mom barged in.
How dare you people try to take my daughter away from me? Kelly, I know these people tricked you into coming here. Let's leave, now.
Mom took my hand and started pulling me out, but I pulled my arm away and stepped back.
Kelly, what are you doing?
No one tricked me into coming here, Mom. I came because I wanted to. And these people aren't strangers. They're my family.
What are you talking about? Your dad never cared about you, and now these people have brainwashed you. Amber, that's not fair. You have your family. What do you want with mine?
Mom, stop. You brainwashed me. You always told me they were evil. But the last few weeks, I've received nothing but love from them. Today, I realized how happy it felt to be among family. And as much as I love you, I want this too, Mom. Why can't I have both?
Well, you can't. You have to choose. It's me or him. Are you coming or not?
But when I didn't move, she stormed off angrily. I felt unhappy, but I wasn't going to let her emotionally blackmail me. Mom refused to talk to me for the next few weeks, and I did the same. She threw herself even more into her work, and I'd hardly see her around. But then one day, I got a call from her office. She'd fainted and been taken to the hospital. I called Dad, and immediately he took me there. The doctors said she'd overworked herself and had a breakdown.
Just make sure she rests for the next few weeks and has nothing to worry about.
Before I went to see Mom, I turned to Dad. I need to know. Just tell me what happened between you and Mom, please. Dad looked at me and sighed.
I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, Callie, but your mom became a bit crazy. She would throw tantrums over the smallest things, and she didn't trust me at all. We were miserable and fighting all the time, and once we got divorced, she was so possessive about you. She just changed her address and numbers and wouldn't let me see you. But I'm still sorry, because I should have tried harder for you.
So finally, I knew. I felt sad to hear Mom had been that way, and how she had ended things with my dad. The next few weeks, I made sure Mom stayed put in that bed. Lisa helped me with all my schoolwork, while Dad made sure we had everything we needed. His wife even came over often to cook and clean for us, and I was so grateful that I didn't have to deal with all this alone. A couple of weeks later, I was reading by Mom's bedside when suddenly she took my hand.
Callista, I've had a lot of time to think, and I really owe you an apology, honey. I'm sorry for keeping you away from your dad. He did try to get in touch.
Mom, it's okay. I know. Dad told me everything.
I know I drove him away. And then I got even more bitter, and he'd moved on and married someone. It made me crazier, and you were all I had. I just didn't want you to get close to him. I think I need therapy, Kelly. I know your dad cares about you, and it actually feels nice to know that there was someone to take care of us while I was sick. I'll be better. I won't make you choose again. You deserve a family.
So do you, and we're all here to help. I love you, Mom.